Hi everybody, hello. We're talking about fate, destiny, and free will. Woo. This is a subject that has always been fascinating to me, and I started learning about it in 2004, that I really got into fate, destiny, and free will. So it's been 13 years, I guess, I've been studying it. Hi there. Hey, Angela. So I know quite a bit about it, especially since I read for people for a living. I do tarot readings, astrology, and I hypnotize people into past lives. So I am coming from the reincarnation type of perspective. And I also study evolutionary astrology, which is what I practice when I read for people. And it is the most effective and most spot on for astrology readings, according to me and many, many, many other people. In fact, my clients always say, wow, like, why didn't I ever get this out of any other astrology reading? And it's because you didn't have an evolutionary astrology reading, which is based on fate, destiny, and free will, and reincarnation. So let's talk about it. If you have questions, please feel free to ask. However, just so you know, on Facebook, for some reason, I guess the way that I have the iPad set, it doesn't show me all of your messages. So I will try to address whatever I see, though. So, hey, hi, hey everybody, thanks for joining. Okay, so this is such a complex subject, you know. So, fate and destiny, right? A lot of people want to know what the difference is. And fate and destiny are very different, in fact, because they're both based on your free will, though, but they're different outcomes. So fate is based on unconscious free will choices. Unconscious free will choices. That's fate, okay? You end up with fate. Destiny is when you make conscious, awake decisions, free will decisions, okay? So free will plays a part in both. Fate is an outcome that you don't necessarily see coming, or you, like for instance, let's say that you're in a relationship with somebody. It's supposed to be this like short-term type of thing. You meet them, you're drawn to the person, and you think, wow, right? This is fate, right? And you know in your heart that you shouldn't be with this person, but you're not meditating, you're not listening to your guide, you're not listening to yourself, and so eventually they do something like cheat on you or leave you, right? That would be fate, right? That was the outcome, fate. They left you, they hurt you. Now, if you were awake and conscious and making free will decisions based on, all right, looking at the cards, the tarot cards, I can see that this person is not very good for me. I intuitively feel it, or my guides told me, or a psychic told me, or whatever, wherever you tap in to spirit and you make conscious decisions, you go, you know, I really like this person, but I know that this isn't, you know, right for me. So you end the relationship. That would be more destiny, okay? So destiny is when decisions happen based on conscious free will choices. And again, fate happens when you are operating unconsciously about something. You know, you don't want to see it, you don't want to make the choices, you just kind of hide behind it. Fate, for instance, can be that you end up with major stomach problems because you're not eating healthy, right? So you end up with fate that you have to learn your lesson to take better care of your body. Whereas destiny would be you eat very healthy, you take care of your stomach, you take care of your diet, and you end up with a very healthy, happy body. And in fact, you have other health issues as well, which are really good. Like you have a lot of energy, you know, and good balanced hormones and stuff like that. So that is really the main difference between fate and destiny, because we all have free will. We have our decisions to make. We have all these paths we can take and all these people we can come run into, because we are not here just for one little single lifetime and just everything's just all about this one lifetime. That's not how it works. You know, so if you don't learn the lesson in this lifetime, we can see in your evolutionary astrology chart that you came back again because of the same issue, right? Or, you know, you came back with karma with this person because this issue wasn't worked out, right? Or there was an imbalance in some way. They hurt you, you hurt them, something happened here, needs to be balanced out. You need to learn the other side. Hey there. Thanks for joining. So that's a little bit about fate and free will. For instance, let me give you another example. Pluto in the astrology chart is your soul. All right. So let's say you have Pluto in the 12th house. Pluto's the soul. The 12th house is the house of very deep psychic work, connection to spirit beyond. I mean, this is like the house of the ether, right? This is the house of the ocean that we're all connected in, right? And so if you make bad decisions, this is also the house where you can end up in prison, okay? So let's say you make really bad decisions. You know, you're not making conscious decisions, you're making unconscious decisions. You start doing drugs, right? You end up on this path of self-destruction. Well, if that happens with a 12th house Pluto, you will likely end up with something like schizophrenia because you made unconscious decisions. Now, if you make conscious decisions and you go the path of meditation and developing yourself spiritually and connecting and really caring for yourself and yourself as a channel, because you're a natural channel with Pluto in the 12th, then you would end up being a very developed psychic, a very developed channel with good conscious decisions, and you'd be able to help other people with that. So you would be able to spread that light. And so that's a huge thing with evolutionary astrology, is looking at Pluto and then, okay, your Pluto is in this house, so if you make this decision, this would be the conscious decision for you, then you'll end up with this amazing outcome. If you make a very unconscious decision and you keep on this path, you know, then, you know, you're going to end up in this bad area of this type of lifestyle, in this house, this situation, right? This area of your life, whichever area it might be falling in. Now, when I read tarot cards, let's talk about that, because a lot of people say, okay, I'm going to do my tarot cards, or I'm going to go get a tarot reading, and, well, you know, what if it doesn't happen? Okay, something like that. Here's the thing with how the tarot cards work. The cards are situational. So I can read someone's intent. I can read something that is very, very likely to happen with a path that it's on. And I can tell you, hey, this is this person's intent. This is what is very likely to happen, you know, very soon. Now, depending on choices, people can make different choices. And so with those different choices, especially if this is something with relationships or something where another person's involved, right, there can be other outcomes that might happen, right? So let's say you meet someone and you're interested in this person and you go on a date with them and you're like, okay, well, let me look at the cards. And you look at the cards and you see that they like you. There's a really good connection. You knew that, and they see it in the cards. And you see that it should have a likely outcome. However, all of a sudden, you don't hear from that person. Well, they made a decision. And we all have free will. We all have decisions. So then you can pull the cards again. Well, usually when you pull that, you'll see that in the cards too. You'll see that, well, it's likely, but there's this other issue here. Typically you'll see that. However, they could make a decision that changes the path. And it could change the path just temporarily a lot of times, because when someone is fated to be in your life, it will usually happen for at least a period of time. So they might make a decision and then you don't hear from them. And then 2 weeks later or 2 months later, you hear from this person, and now the option is open again for you and your free will, right? Because people, we have all these. Here's another thing with fate, right? Your fate is you're born into a certain family. They have very fixed personalities already. You are born into a certain culture, and you are born into a certain ethnicity, right? You have certain characteristics. You can't change that. That's your fate, right? And that's going to cause certain things. And the way that your family treats you when you're born has a lot to do with your past lives. I can look at your evolutionary astrology chart and I can say, you had a really tough childhood, specifically with your father or your mother or whatever it might be. I can see that in the chart because it has everything to do with your soul's past lives with those people, right? You have karma with your family, and you can see that karma in the astrology chart so clearly, right? You can see if somebody had a good, happy childhood, or if they had a really, really hard childhood and some serious karma with one of their parents. Even karma with the siblings, you can see that as well. So that's fated, right? It's fated that you are born into this family with these issues because your soul was already there, right? It was already there with them before, and there was already issues. So it comes back in with the same energies, the same issues, the same soul group. You know, we're all in soul groups and we're all connected to each other. And so if you're born into, a certain culture, like you're born in the North American culture, right? You're typically reborn into a North American or European culture, typically, right? Depends on what's going on with your soul. But that's the typical way it works. So yeah, let's see, I wrote a couple of little things down. Yeah, time is irrelevant, I was saying that earlier, and it can even be that, you know, it's fated for you to learn something, but if you don't learn it in this lifetime, you come back next time to work on it again. Your soul's like, gotta stay in this energy until I evolve and move forward. And yeah, so events and timing can change based on unconscious decisions, and lack of movement forward. So if it's predicted, for instance, prophesies that something's going to happen, it might be that it's going to happen and you see that it's going to happen within the next month or two, and then it gets pushed. You see it and you go, well, damn it, I see it, but why isn't it happening? And then you can look into it. If you do something like divination, like cards or runes or anything like that, you can pull and you can say, oh, well, this is why it didn't happen yet. There was an issue here, and you can see why it got pushed. And then it ends up happening later, but, it's fated. And, it could be fated that maybe, let's say, you're going to go onto a certain career path, but you're operating very unconsciously. You're not meditating at all. You really feel lost all the time. You have a lot of issues, trauma issues, and anxiety and depression and all this stuff, and you just won't listen. You won't help yourself. You won't exercise. You won't do things that are healthy for yourself. So you're not a very good antenna, channel for what the best decisions would be for you. So you really don't know what to do. Whereas someone that is really in working on their self-development and, and it doesn't matter what level you are. You could be an infant soul. You could be an old soul. It really doesn't matter. If you're tapped into your soul, your higher self, you're going to make decisions based on, what your higher self wants you to do, what your soul wants you to learn. Right, so you really can, you can end up lost at any level, or you can end up very focused and very directed at any level. Some people are more intuitive than others, and some people can tap in and listen to themselves, or just make unconscious decisions that are more focused, and they end up with a lot of fate. Or they can make very conscious decisions and end up with a lot of destiny. So, any questions? Trying to see Thomas, Bill. I see Thomas and Bill on Periscope here. Hey, Andreas. Any questions about fate, free will, destiny? When I pull tarot cards, we have the major arcana, right? And the major arcana are the fate and destiny cards. So certain things that your soul has to go through and has to learn this lifetime, and you know, we can see a lot of fate and a lot of destiny through those cards. So if I pull those cards and there's some issues going on and you want to know about it, like let's say you want to know if you're going to get married. Well, I pull, you know, a major arcana card and I know, yeah, it's fated that you're going to get married. That's something that's supposed to happen to you this time. I was told my daughter has been with me many lives. Yeah, that's very normal. Other persons get in the mix and change the path. Yes, Elaine, other people can, but that's the thing, is we're all connected. We're all souls, you know, and other people do come into the mix and change the path sometimes, but that's the thing, is you have choice. You know, you always have choices. So it just depends on the path that you want to take at the time. If you think you are fated to heal or help, and you said something about being on different levels of knowing, I'm not sure what you're asking there, Debbie. Does accessing Akashic records help to understand and pay karmic debt? Okay, Akashic records are just memories. Okay, it's just, everything's like a computer program, right? And it's all programmed, it's all there, it's been there. Can you stop skipping me? I'm not sure who you are or what you're talking about. And anyways, the Akashic records are really just memories. Paying karmic debt? I don't believe karma's debt, really. I don't look at it that way. Karma has to do with experience of the soul. You know, we are all experiencing this reality. It's a journey. So karma is just, let's say that, I mean, simple, right? A simple example here. Let's say that you killed someone in a past life, right? Well, karma would be that your soul wants to experience what you did to the other soul. So it wants to experience the other side. So if you experience the side of murder, then your soul would want to experience the side of being murdered. And that's how you know somebody's developed, as if they know what it's like on all the different sides. You know, when you can really weigh in on the different sides and understand like how it feels to be on both sides, that's a more developed soul. You know. And when people are very, very narrow-minded and they're very just judgmental and things, you can tell that they haven't suffered enough karma yet. And so they might be suffering a lot of karma this lifetime because they're drawing it to themselves, because their soul needs to experience and learn and grow in a way. What is going on over there? There's some crazy people talking on Periscope. Anyways, I seem to be spending a lot of time helping others cross over, wondering about that. Charlene, if you'd like a reading, just let me know. I do personal readings. 30 minutes is $47. I do full astrology readings for $79. Past life regressions are $149. Could you change your own fate? If you knew that was happening, could you change your own fate? Pulling out the race card. People on Periscope are so immature sometimes. If you knew that was happening, could you change your own fate? I'm not really sure what you're referring to, though. If you knew that was happening. I'm not sure. You might want to reword that or add a little bit more to that. I think I need to block this person over here. I think they're trying to get a free reading or something. Can fate change? Absolutely. As we make choices, absolutely. So as we make choices, as you make choices, things can change. Yeah, I'm on Periscope as well. It's just Brandy Joy. Yeah. So yeah, you can change your fate by becoming more conscious, by becoming more aware, more awake, by meditating. And if you ask good questions of your higher self and of your spirit guides, They can help lead you on the right path, right? You operate unconsciously normally. We all do, right? And so because I'm black, I get ignored. Block user. Bye-bye. Okay. Yeah. Does that make sense? Anybody want to ask any more questions? I had some troll on Periscope, like going crazy, trying to get a free reading or something. Yeah. How do you get in touch with the spirit guides? Actually, I have some good videos on that you might want to try out. In fact, many of you know about my deep meditation course. It's called deepmeditationcourse.com. And that is a free meditation course that you can watch videos. It's 4 videos I think I have on there. And I help you out with, getting in touch with spirits and stuff. So if you are looking to develop your spirit guide contact, I do actually have some videos on that. You might need to check out my YouTube. That's more organized than my Facebook videos. So spirit guide contact is really great though. My spirit guide has gone away. Is that possible? I guess it's possible, especially if you're not listening to them. They might kind of stop, but usually that's just a rogue spirit that you were listening to. Yeah, one of the little techniques you can do, I have a video on how to contact spirit guides actually on YouTube, but one of the little techniques you can do to help hear them more effectively is to open your heart chakra. So you put your hand on your heart chakra and you breathe in and you just go and that actually helps to open up that heart chakra, and that will help you hear them. Brandy Joy TV is my YouTube and my Facebook. They both say Brandy Joy TV as the URL. Yeah, Charlene. Good. Karma's not good or bad. The universe doesn't operate in good and bad. It's all just that the way that you value something is just in your judgment and perspective. So karma's karma. Like I said before, it's really not good or bad. If you experience murder, you want to experience being murdered. If you experience abandoning somebody, then you're going to experience being abandoned. It might not even be an intent. It might not even be that you intend on doing something to someone. However, because you were involved in it, your soul wants to experience the other side of it. That's what it is. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not sure, Kayla. It would really depend on, it's different for everybody. I mean, that could be just an entity, and it could be a spirit guide. Usually we have a few spirit guides, especially if you're a light worker, you usually have about 3. If time doesn't exist, does past life regression operate by an astral method? I don't understand that really. If time doesn't exist, does past life regression operate by an astral method? Yeah, it's the soul intent, but no, just soul experience. Not really. I don't understand your question, Ida. If time doesn't exist, does past life regression operate? I'm not sure what an astral. I guess. But if time doesn't exist, it's past. Okay, so time exists. It's not that time doesn't exist. In reality, beyond our timeline, it doesn't exist. But we're experiencing life in time. We are in a time-space continuum. So when I regress you to the past of our timeline, right? Probably because you're still here. Is it really a past life or occurring concurrently but in a different realm? See, that's a question that I have myself actually. I'm not real sure because I'm not a scientist. I haven't gotten that far into it, I guess. But that's a good question and something that I've questioned myself. Is there really a past life occurring or concurrently in a different realm? I think I would say that would be more concurrently in a different realm. However, I'm not a scientist, like I said, so I really don't have the answer to that. That would be better for someone that is an actual scientist that studies quantum physics. That's a quantum physics type of question. And even then, it's still theory. Nobody can really answer those kinds of questions yet. Unless maybe they work with CERN and maybe they do know. So CERN studies quantum mechanics and different parallel universes. There's more than just CERN, though. There's actually quite a few of those, I guess you could call them companies all over the world that study this stuff, but, you know, it's not public information. But I would definitely go to the side of a different realm because, you know, it's a very complicated universe. We don't really understand it. You know, we're always trying to figure it out. You know, it's a good question, though. Any other questions about, because, you know, you all get readings or you all do readings. I know you're all light workers, so you're into this stuff. So fate, free will, destiny, I mean, I think I did a pretty good job at explaining it, but if you're still confused about it, please ask me questions because it's something I've been studying for a very long time. So any other questions, I'd be happy to try to address them. I don't know everything, of course, but I have my theories, and my theories go pretty well with how I read for people and stuff. You find it hard to meditate lately? Well, I have videos on meditation. I have the deepmeditationcourse.com. I have a tantric course on vibecourses.com. I have playlists on YouTube on how to meditate. I have lots of meditation videos because that's like the main thing that I teach. But I'm not going to teach meditation tonight because we're talking about fate and free will. I want to stick to the subject. But if you want to check out some of my videos, you can always message me on Facebook and ask me any questions about those videos. I have very extensive videos on there. So, yeah. YouTube, I'm Brandy Joy TV. So just check it out. And I have a meditation playlist. Yeah. Yeah, meditation is the best. Without meditation, right? How would we know anything, right? Einstein, that's how he got his theories, was through meditation work. Brandy Joy TV, thank you. So, yeah, it's a complicated subject, fate and free will and destiny, but it really just comes down to the choices we're making because we're all connected and we go lifetimes and lifetimes learning together. You know. Oh, Charlene, that's cute. Your cat likes watching me. That's cute. Yeah, animal spirits. Those are fun. Animals, they're part of our soul groups as well. You know, we're all energy. Yeah, thank you. If one changes their fate, is the original fate to be played out in another life? Oh yeah, absolutely. That's an elephant behind me. But yeah, if, let's say you had a certain thing you had a goal, right? Your soul's intent was to become more connected with spirit in this lifetime. But you didn't meditate, you didn't connect to spirit. That was one of the big things for you because Pluto 12th house, right? This is a good example. And, you know, you ended up schizophrenic because you didn't take the path to enlightenment. 12th house Pluto, man, it's a big one, guys. So that's why I'm using it as an example, and I've seen it a few times already happen to people, schizophrenic. And let's say you didn't do it. So you're going to come back next time, and I can see the skip steps in your past life charts, you know. Is there a certain amount of people in the soul group, or does it vary? It does vary, but here's the thing. We usually operate in soul group clusters. I'll have to do another video on soul groups. I did that a while back. But soul groups are clusters of energy, right? So like energy, they learn together, they grow together. And so you have this cluster, you know, usually it could be like 5 souls, 10 souls, 15 souls, something like that, right? Usually smaller clusters. And then outside of that cluster is another cluster. And then you have another cluster, cluster. There's like clusters of energy. And so this one right here, right? If one of the souls ends up at a higher level after this lifetime, they pushed really hard, did really well, and experience, they're ready to move to a different vibration, right? And now this soul group will be operating with mainly these souls, but then it will also operate with souls outside of it and other soul groups that are closest to it, right? And so let's say that you're right here and your parent soul group is right here. Now, typically you're not in the same soul group as your parents or your children, right? So they're usually right outside of yours because you're learning together and you have karma together, but you're not typically in the same soul group. Same soul group is usually brothers and sisters, people that your lifetime very close to, but not typically parents or children. It's usually friends, family members that are like brothers and sisters and stuff that you're extremely close to for the lifetime. So they're usually pretty small. We've done a lot of studies on that, in fact, with hypnosis, hypnotizing people, blind studies, getting the same information over and over and over and over and over again about that information. So it has been studied subjectively. So yeah, that's not just coming from somebody making up something or some one person channeling. That's from like lots and lots and lots and lots of people being hypnotized for many, many decades. Michael Newton is one of the main researchers on that. So if you want to look into that. Oh, it froze for you? I'm sorry. I think yours did that last time too. Oh. So friends also, or just family soul group bonding? No, I said friends, anybody that's close to you, like for the lifetime. Like your spouse, for instance, would be in your soul group typically. Spouses. Friends that are friends for a lifetime. People that you're very close to, that you feel a very, very close vibration to. And if you ever get that feeling when you're around somebody that you know them, that you just meet somebody, you're like, don't I know you? Yeah, you typically do know that person. You've met them in many other lifetimes. Yeah, cool. I think somebody asked a question over here on Periscope, but I think I missed it. Any last questions before I let you go? It's one of my favorite subjects. I do love talking about fate and free will and destiny because it is such a huge part of my life when I read for people and myself and I do all this work all the time. You know, it's a very big subject. Do I have any insights on the energy shift in mass awakening? What kind of information would you like to know? A lot of people are experiencing this eclipse hangover. You know, it's really affecting a lot of people. Anxiety, depression, up and down, up and down. You know, it's a very intense week for a lot of people. And there's definitely a lot of awakening going on. I've been watching that for many, many years now. I have a dream course on Udemy if you'd like to check that out if you're looking into dream interpretation. It made your visions clearer? Yeah, the eclipse really shed light on a lot of things. Yeah. The energy shift in the mass awakening, I've been watching for a long time. I teach at university, and I've been teaching at universities for 11 or 12 years, something like that. And I've watched this major shift in the generations. I've watched a major shift in people in general, in fact, and it's very interesting to watch because I remember, 11, 12 years ago when I started out, the energies, people were not very intuitive. People were not feeling, the younger generations, they were not really feeling much energy or anything like that. They were like, what is this, right? And now, more than ever, my students are all just like, oh yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I feel things off. I can see your aura, blah, 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 It's like a totally different thing with the younger people. They're just in tune way more than the other generations. But even the older generations are becoming more awakened and more in tune. So these younger souls are born with it, but the older souls are actually changing vibration as well in many ways. Yeah, like you, Thomas. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, thank you for joining me. I'm Brandy Joy. I'm signing off. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Or evening, I should say. Do you think hearing binaural beats can help meditation reach higher levels of consciousness? Sure. I think binaural beats help. In fact, I had a student about 5 years ago. He was sitting in a classroom and he had this huge aura. His aura was extremely bright. And he's sitting there, and a friend of mine teaches sound meditation work, and he's amazing, Qigong master. He was sitting there, we were all talking, and I couldn't see my friend, the Qigong master, I couldn't see his aura. And he looked at me and he was talking about aura, and the kid with the really bright aura was talking about, what is the aura exactly, right? And my friend Jim said, well, he looked at me and he goes, you can't see my aura. And I knew I was trying to look at his aura, and I'm like, yeah, why can't I see your aura? I thought it was the lighting in here, but I can see his, like, bright. And he goes, no, I know how to pull my aura in so that no one can see it. It's a technique that I use. It's very simple. You just intend on pulling it in. It's like breathing in, right? But he said, you see how bright his is? And I was like, yeah, I do. And I was like, why is your aura so bright? What are you doing exactly? What kind of meditation or spiritual work are you doing? And he said, well, my little sister had passed away a couple of years ago, and I got into a real bad depression, so I started using some of the sound healing stuff from the internet. So he was going on YouTube, and he was putting the headphones on. He was listening to those vibratory healing things, the hertz and the binaural beats, all that stuff, right? He was listening to that stuff, and it was expanding his aura, because he wasn't actually doing any aura expansion work like what I do. And when I do my aura expansion work, I can make my aura really bright and very vibrant, and I can really feel things off people. But you also want to pull that back in, because you start attracting entities if you do that too much. But yeah, anyways, I've seen it be effective. So I just don't prefer to do something like that myself. I'd prefer to just do my meditation work and my aura expansion rituals myself. I like doing it myself, so. So you're going through some kind of change? We all are, honey. I don't do free readings on here. If you'd like a reading, I charge $47 for a 30-minute, and I also do astrology readings for $79 and a past life regression for $149. And they're all over the internet on video conference, and I send you a link. So if you want a reading, let me know. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I will see you on Monday for our weekly tarot forecast, Monday night. So I hope you have a good rest of this eclipse week. I know it's a little intense. Saturn and all that wonderful stuff is being aspected. And Venus. Woohoo! Bye for now. Yeah. Good night, Amanda. Thank you. Bye for now.